There is a specific sound that breaks a mother's heart. It isn't a scream. It isn't a cry from a scraped knee. It is the sound of a refrigerator door opening, staying open for 10 seconds, and then closing slowly, then opening again, then closing. It's the sound of a child looking for something that isn't there. I need to tell you a story that I don't share with many people. It's the reason I sit here in front of this camera. It's the reason I yell about budgets and envelopes and saving every penny. It's not because I love math. It's because of a Tuesday night 6 years ago. I was working a double shift at the time. I was exhausted. I came home, and my son, who was 7 back then, looked at me with those big, trusting eyes and asked, "Mom, what's for dinner?" And I froze, because I knew exactly what was in the kitchen. I had a half-empty jar of mayonnaise, some ketchup packets from a fast food place, and 2 slices of bread that were starting to turn hard. That was it. I had 3 days until payday. My bank account was overdrawn by $30 because of an overdraft fee I forgot about. I had no gas in the car to get to a food pantry even if one was open at 8 p.m. I made him a toast sandwich. I tried to make it a game. I smiled until my face hurt. I told him we were having a picnic. I gave him the food, and I drank a glass of water to fill my own stomach. He ate it. He didn't complain, but I saw him look at my empty plate. He asked, "Mom, aren't you hungry?" I looked him in the eye, and I lied. I said, "No, baby, I ate a big lunch at work." That lie tasted like ash in my mouth. Later that night, after he went to sleep, I sat on the floor of my bathroom. I turned the shower on so he wouldn't hear me, and I sobbed. I didn't just cry. I grieved. I felt like the biggest failure on the planet. I felt like I had broken the one promise you make when you become a parent, to provide. I looked at myself in the mirror, eyes red, face swollen, and I felt hate. I hated my boss. I hated the system. But mostly, I hated myself for letting it get that bad, for pretending everything was fine while the ship was sinking. That night, something in me snapped. It wasn't a gentle realization. It was a violent shift. I wiped my face. I looked at that tired woman in the mirror, and I made a blood oath. I said out loud over the noise of the running water, "Never again." I swore that my child would never, ever go to bed hungry again. I didn't care if I had to scrub toilets until my fingers bled. I didn't care if I had to sell everything I owned. I didn't care if people judged me for being cheap. That night, the nice girl died. The survivor was born. You might be watching this right now with a knot in your stomach. Maybe your fridge is empty right now. Maybe you are deciding between paying the electric bill or buying groceries. I know that terror. It is a cold, heavy stone in your chest that makes it hard to breathe. Society tells us we are bad mothers if we are poor. They tell us we should have planned better. They don't understand that when you are making $10 an hour, one flat tire destroys a plan. But I am here to tell you that shame is useless. Shame keeps you paralyzed. Shame keeps you hiding in the bathroom with the shower running. We have to kill the shame so we can fight the war, because this is a war. It is a war for your family's survival, and you are the general. That night, I didn't have money, but I had rage, and I used that rage to build a plan. I'm going to tell you exactly what I did the next morning. It wasn't pretty, it wasn't dignified, but it filled the fridge. The next morning, I didn't wake up with a miracle. I woke up with the same headache and the same empty cabinets, but the rage from the night before had turned into a cold, hard focus. I realized that hoping for things to get better was a slow way to die. Hope is not a strategy. I did something that felt like a punch to my pride. I went to my neighbor. I didn't ask for a loan. I knew I couldn't pay it back. I asked her if I could clean her house and wash her windows in exchange for whatever she had in her pantry that she wasn't using. It was the hardest "can you help me" I've ever said. I felt about 2 inches tall, but then I thought about my son's face, looking at that dry toast, and my pride didn't matter anymore. She gave me 2 boxes of pasta, a jar of sauce, and some canned corn. That was Tuesday's victory. It was small, but it was a win. That was the day I started my survival ledger. I took a notebook. It was one of my son's old school notebooks with half the pages torn out, and I stopped being a victim of my bank account. I became its master. Listen to me, Mama. If you are where I was, you have to stop the bleeding. Every cent that leaves your hand has to be accounted for. I stopped buying anything that wasn't fuel or food. I stopped the $5 coffees. I stopped the treats for my son at the checkout line. It hurt to say no to him. It broke me to see his face when I couldn't buy him a pack of gum. But I told him, "Baby, we are on a mission. We are building a fortress." I made him part of the team. We weren't poor, we were warriors. I started looking for the invisible money. I realized that for months, I had been paying for a subscription to a streaming service I didn't even have time to watch. That was $15. I called the phone company and fought with them until they lowered my bill by $20. I started taking the bus when I could to save on gas, even though it added an hour to my day. I was exhausted. Yes. I was tired to my bones. But every time I added $10 to my food envelope, the weight on my chest got a little lighter. I also started pantry stretching. I learned how to cook a pound of dried beans and make it last 4 days. I learned that a bag of rice is a gift from God. I stopped caring if dinner was boring. Boring is fine. Boring is full. Boring means nobody is crying in the bathroom. I want you to hear this clearly. Your value as a mother is not measured by the brand of shoes on your kids' feet or the steak on their plate. Your value is in your grit. It's in the way you keep going when the world says you should give up. I spent that first month in emergency mode. I didn't look at the big debt. I didn't look at the future. I only looked at the next 7 days. Can we eat for 7 days? Yes. Okay, now can we pay the light bill? Yes. Okay. It's like cleaning a house that's been trashed. You don't look at the whole mess. You just clean one corner, then you clean the next. Pretty soon you can see the floor again. But as I started to see the floor, I realized there was a bigger trap waiting for me. The trap of feeling comfortable too soon. I knew that if I didn't change my entire relationship with money, I'd be back on that bathroom floor in 6 months. I had to learn the difference between being broke and having a poor mindset, and that was the hardest lesson of all. The hardest shift wasn't the math, it was the mindset. Being broke is just a situation, but a poor mindset is a prison. A poor mindset says, "I worked hard today. I deserve this treat." A poor mindset says, "It's only $10. It won't make a difference." But when you are a single mom fighting for air, $10 is the difference between a full stomach and a hollow ache. I had to learn to love the no. Every time I said no to something temporary, I was saying a giant yes to my children's future. I started a never again fund. It wasn't a savings account in a bank. I didn't trust the bank not to take it for fees. It was a coffee can hidden in the back of my closet. Every $5 bill, every crumpled single I could find, went in that can. I remember the day that can hit $500. I pulled it out and sat on my bed and just touched the money. I wasn't going to spend it. Just knowing it was there changed the way I breathed. It meant that if the fridge broke, we would eat. If the kid got sick, I could buy the medicine. That $500 was the first time I felt like a human being in years. Now look at me. My kids are older now. Their bellies are full. We have a home that is safe. But I never forgot that Tuesday night. I still keep a jar of peanut butter and a box of pasta in the very back of my pantry that we never touch. It's my Ebenezer. It's my reminder of where we came from and a promise of where we are never going back. If you are sitting in the dark right now, literally or figuratively, I want you to listen to my voice. You are not a failure. You are in the middle of your battle. This moment, this hunger, this fear, it is the fuel for your comeback. Do not let the shame win. Use it. Let it make you sharp. Let it make you disciplined. Tonight, I want you to do one thing. Find one thing you can sell, one bill you can cut, or one extra hour of work you can grab. Take that money, no matter how small, and put it in a jar. Label that jar never again. That is your foundation. You aren't just surviving for yourself, you are teaching your children how a queen fights for her kingdom. You are showing them what resilience looks like in a denim shirt. I am walking this path with you. I am cheering for you from my kitchen to yours. We are the mothers who refuse to stay down. We are the ones who turn nothing into something every single day. If you're making the never again promise today, I want you to type never again in the comments. I want to see your names. I want to know I'm not alone in this fight, and I want you to know you aren't either. Keep your head up, Mama. The fridge will be full again. I'll see you in the next video.